Okay, I will be perfectly honest. I had absolutely no idea what to play right now after having finished Viva Pinata Pocket Paradise. So I looked around really hard for a while and finally realized, hey, there's this one Flash game I played a good deal back in the day that I actually forgot to include with all the other Flash games I played a while ago. So let's throw this on the pile. So here we are. This is a little thing I played a while ago. I should probably jump in before we start talking more about it. Plus, we're getting to a point where I've never even heard this part of the title theme before anymore, and it's feeling weird hearing new parts of the song. So, it continues playing in the opening. Oh well. This is Simon. Also, I don't know what's going on with the visuals here. You see that it, looks kind of compressed and whatnot. You would think that usually a Flash game like this would be vector graphics and all be high quality. In fact, you can see on screen if you look closely, some things like the Gold Nugget are actually vector graphics, but then like Simon himself, for instance, like his head is like poorly compressed pixels. I think something might be happening like most of that was one image, and then there are a couple little vector graphics on top of it. Like most of this looks good. Also, fun fact, Simon's brother is 100% the star of the show. Because he's the front line. This game does have some weird balancing, I will say ahead of time. It starts very easy, which is good, but it gets to where it's very luck-based towards the end. You'll see that up top here, there's a par for each stage. How many shots. The fewer shots you complete in, the more money and points you get. You can submit to a high score table and whatnot. I don't know if the high score table is still up anymore. But anyways, game's getting impatient, tell me to click. But anyways, the par on the later stages is way higher than... It would be extraordinarily difficult, and by difficult I mean you have to be extraordinarily lucky to actually survive to even reach par. Like, you can only complete the stage way below par, it's very strange. Anyways, the gist of it is, you aim around, and you fire. Each team, so to speak, fires once. Also, you can tell when this was made based on a few things, such as the cultural references. But yes, you aim, you fire, and you gotta be careful about a few things, like the fact that you are bobbing up and down. Two ways to take out an enemy. One is to reduce their health to 0, which I'll just maintain that aim I had just now. And your regular shot will only do 80 damage at most with a regular hit. With a direct hit. But also, if you knock someone off their platform, they'll fall into the water. They can't usually land on another platform. Simon combing his singular hair, very good. But yeah, you can see on the bottom here, how long you took also is accounted for in your money, in the money and score you get. But also how many shots you took. You gotta be careful when you click. If you click somewhere on top where one of these buttons will appear, in my experience, it will immediately trigger that button, which can be annoying. So you can buy alternate ammunition. Grenades are mostly just a worse rocket in a certain sense. Well, I don't know. Grenades fire like a regular tennis ball do, but they explode after a while. The hard part is, people are usually like on boats and whatnot. There aren't that many set places, maybe later, maybe at the very end of the game. There aren't many places where you can reliably not have the grenade fall into the water and it won't explode, so it's useless. But yeah, I guess it can be useful towards the end. The rocket the rocket's insta-kill if it hits someone directly. If it does hit someone directly, it has some splash damage, but not much. On the other hand, the tricky part about the rocket is it is propelled, so it fires in a very different arc than the tennis ball and the grenade. None of these are especially useful early in the game, in my opinion. Like that first stage, I could have just got a nice trick shot and killed both those guys in one hit. Maybe not the guy in the back, I don't know. But the real fun is in upgrading your Raft, which all things considered is fairly cheap. But like as it is right now, just a single good shot on either of us, especially Simon, will just knock them off and kill them instantly. You only get a game over if you actually lose all of your party members. First upgrade to your Raft just extends Simon's little boat, but gives you a dog. I don't know if the dog has health, but the dog cannot attack. Simon is capable of attacking, but Simon will only attack if the brother gets knocked down, and everyone comes back, the next round, so it's not a problem. But It does mean though that if someone gets, if the brother gets knocked out, then whoops, now you have to fire from a new position, and that complicates matters because the arc's different, the aim's different. Honestly, I think the final Raft upgrade is potentially a downgrade from the penultimate Raft, but we'll see that when we get there. Yeah, I feel like lots of things in this game use images, like raster images rather than vector graphics for some reason. And it upskills probably because of it. I don't know why they did that. Also some small, silly little things. That was at least a direct hit. Well, he took an extra bit of damage from bouncing around. But, it's not the best place to shoot. So if I hit either of the other guys, it could have knocked him out immediately. I don't know. Oh, that's okay. Dog does not take damage. The dog's invincible. That's interesting. There we go. You see that shark swimming around, by the way? The shark does actually act as a mechanic. The shark just, I think the shark actually just swims across the entire map, roughly. If a projectile hits the shark, it will bounce off the shark. That applies to you and your opponents. I'm always careful to move my cursor to the left for clicking, so they buy something. I think there's a small number of times where I've managed to have a tennis ball bounce back and hit me by hitting an enemy, bouncing off, then bouncing off the shark and coming back and hitting me, which is kind of fun to do. I'm not completely certain that's true. Anyways, so this might be the best Raft by a lot of metrics. You have a wall in the back, you have a third friend now, and the third friend is actually a party member. They have health. This is actually, I think, a neighbor's kid. But, he's a fully functional party member. But also you have the wall in the back, which is very good. A lot better than your dog. And, oh yeah, I think from this stage onwards, hippos start appearing. If you hit that, your shot will bounce. You don't usually want to hit it on purpose anyways, so... This is one of those games where, strictly speaking, you have the ability to not fire at full strength, but you don't usually want to fire an arc. Yeah. Annoyingly, people bouncing into each other can hurt each other quite a bit. Okay, I didn't move my cursor at all there, and I fired in a way different place. I'm not sure how that happens. Yeah. See, they adjust my cursor slightly downwards here. One trick that is nice is, oh boy! Yeah, see, that could have turned poorly for me. There we go. What was I gonna say? Oh, one thing is if you want to select alternate ammunition, thing is you have to move your cursor up to click on it normally. One nice trick if you ever want to do that and not mess up your aim is you can use the tab key to highlight it and use the keyboard to select the alternate ammunition. That'll probably happen at some point if I start using either of these. Once I get my Raft for upgrade, I'll probably start buying these. I guess the only nice thing about this fully upgraded Raft, this is the last one, it does have a wall in the front. That is also good. And the back wall is higher. The problem with this Raft, though, is it has stairs. That actually poses two problems. One, Simon will frequently, if hit, slide down those stairs, taking extra damage doing so, and will knock the neighbor and the brother into each other and deal extra damage to them. Thankfully, will not knock them off the front because there's a wall in the front. What was the other problem? Oh, also, if Simon... If you switch to Simon being the one to attack, which happens if the other two are taken out, I think here Simon takes precedence over the neighbor kid. I think whoever's furthest front is the one who fires. But this means that Simon's in a different location. He's at a different height. He's not just further back. He's also higher. So it actually becomes harder to aim if you have to resort to Simon, which is a pain. But just for the sake of showing this off, I'll do it. Oh, hit the microphone. This is the point in the game where it actually can be useful to have a grenade. This is one of those rare cases where you actually have somebody who is on land, so there's a lot of ground to use. On the other hand, your shots cannot hit the tree, so it's totally tricky to... Your shots will go past the tree. So it's still pretty tricky to actually make effective use of the grenade here. I'll just keep it in stock. You can only have up to 2 of each alternate fire, unfortunately. Darn. Oh, jeez. It's always satisfying getting an accidental hit like that. It's not going to do much damage. Yep, see, everyone bounces around. What? Oh, wait, what? How'd the neighbor fall?
Hope you enjoy. Bullseye.
That was a good shot.
Sleeping with the fishes.
I appreciate the pitch variation in the voices. But what happened there? Oh, he might be done.
You'll regret that.
No. Now I have to get this tough shot off on this guy. Very good.
See you later.
I did play through this whole thing yesterday just to make sure it all worked right, so... I have... Most of what I'm saying here is stuff I already knew anyways, just having played this a few times back in the day, but... Okay, at this point, there's no reason not to just buy these things, so... Just keep ourselves stocked. Yeah, I don't know how the neighbor fell off. That was very strange. I don't recognize that. Or I don't remember that ever happening. That's what I mean to say. I don't know if he got pushed through the floor by getting stuck between everyone else or what. Still in that part of the game where our opponents are not very accurate. That will change, I assure you. Ooh. I'm kind of surprised how well I'm doing here, to be honest, but I'm sure that's not going to last forever. Yeah, you can see that at the moment, too, our opponents actually have weaker weapons than we do. That will also change. That will change dramatically. Like I said, this game's balancing is actually pretty messed up towards the end of its difficulty curve. Difficulty's not even the right word for it. You just have to rely on luck towards the end. I've never managed to get entirely wiped in one shot with a fully upgraded raft. You probably can't, realistically. Although any lower level rafts you probably can. But...
Watch out for this. Nice shot.
Believe me, you absolutely can get killed in 2 shots with a fully upgraded raft later in the game.
I'll get you. Take this. Nice shot. Sleeping with the fishes.
And now I have to deal with this guy back here. I will say that it feels like usually further away... Oh, thank you, Shark. Usually further away enemies do have poorer aim. So this guy, I might take a few shots to get him, but even if I do, or not. Did something come off of Simon? Even if I do, yeah, it wouldn't be too dangerous. This is where the difficulty curve starts meaningfully changing. Oh, 2000s. Might as well at some point start using these. It's just hard to adjust your aim. And that first guy would have gotten killed, even if it didn't fall off. Yeah, so these guys, that's gonna hurt a lot. They have explosive weapons. I guess they don't necessarily do extra damage. That wasn't... Yeah, that was a direct hit that didn't really do more damage than other direct hits I've taken. See, it's so hard to aim the rock because it's propelled like that. But they do have good splash damage, these things. That might kill him, yep. As long as this guy doesn't get knocked out. That might do it.
I'll get you.
Oh wow.
Hope you enjoy. Thanks.
I didn't change my aim at all. I deliberately fired when I was lower. I wonder if...
Bye-bye.
I wonder if, you moving up or down affects the arc, not just in your position, but also, like, if you're moving upwards, if it actually imparts vertical velocity in your...
Hope you enjoy.
Oh, don't hit me! If that bounced off the shark, it could have hit me. If it imparts vertical velocity on your shot. Oh, that's gonna be bad.
You'll regret that.
But yeah, see, now I'm up here, and I have to completely reconsider my aim. That might not kill him. Okay. If it's not a direct hit, even if it hits them really hard, it will do a lot less damage. Okay. I'm going to go for the guy in front first, purely from the standpoint of he probably has better aim than everyone else, if I understand how this stuff works correctly.
Headshot.
Ah! Those boats a bit too, a bit too secure.
Ow. Revenge.
Oh, did a lot of damage. Jeez.
Watch out for headshot. See you later. Ow.
Yeah, you can see that a lot of this... Oh. Okay. A lot of this has to do with your luck just in your opponent's hitting you or not. Oh, just to show it off. It's me selecting something else. Selecting a an alternate fire with the tab. And other keyboard buttons. But I guess it doesn't help that much for the rockets. You have to readjust your aim anyways to account for it being propelled.
Enjoy. Headshot. See you later.
Nope, that guy doesn't have numbers on him. If I saw that hit.
Ow. Revenge.
Not even saw a Stormrunner. Not messing around too much.
Hope you enjoy. Nice shot. See you with the fish.
Yeah, more useful for the grenade probably, because the grenade I think has the same arc as a tennis ball. But anyways. Alright, this is when the game gets rough. Yeah, these last couple stages are where the game just stops caring about being fair. They have turtle bombs, he says. What are turtle bombs? Turtle bombs are basically, I think they move in the same arc as a tennis ball, but they explode like rockets do. All shots by your enemies now explode like rockets do. At which point I may as well try to break out the big weapons. What that means... Okay, that was pretty damaging, but... Actually, I think they have even stronger splash damage for that matter than your rockets do. Like, that probably isn't going to hurt that much, because it didn't hit directly. No, see? The guy who didn't get hit directly by it got more damage. Oh jeez. How did Simon survive that? But yeah, that was just about a 2-hit kill. That's just a thing that can happen once your enemies have explosives. They can just kill you in 2 hits, and there's nothing you can do about it. Realistically. Nope. I was not even thinking about where my enemies were. Not that it matters. If this guy gets anywhere close to Simon, it's gonna kill him because he has no health left. It's 20 damage. Alright, you just go again. You lose the money you spent on items, but... Yeah, so... At the end of this game... And this isn't like the last stage, but... Towards the end of this game, it's just luck, unfortunately. That was a bit higher than I meant to do. That was pretty good. What was that? Guy just kind of forgot his health was supposed to go down anymore. Yep, see? Direct hit, he's dead. The point of me doing that is that even if you hit the front of the jet ski, And he's dead.
Oh no!
See how big that splash damage is? Jeez.
Hope you enjoy.
Go, you can do it. We tried. And how's this gonna go? Okay, good. Yeah, this last guy is probably gonna have a harder time hitting me, thankfully. Ugh. But all it takes is one good shot.
I'll get you.
Yeah, if Simon slides down the stairs, he takes a good deal of damage from it.
Watch out for this. Bullseye.
There you go. Yeah, it just takes one good hit on him, because you need to have so much momentum that will knock him off the back into the pier anyways. It doesn't go off to the right side. Par 7 shots. You're not gonna survive 7 shots in this stage. It merely will not happen. I actually thought I had rocks selected, but I won't.
I'll get you.
Oh, jeez. I guess he took a bunch of damage from falling.
This. Bullseye. I never saw it coming.
Oh, that was a nice spread of damage. I didn't kill anyone. The guy in front who's most dangerous is still right there. Well, and we're dead.
Oh no!
How many turns was that? Was that 2? Like I said. I don't know where your neighbors got bombs from, but...
Hope you enjoy.
Huh. Yeah, if someone's on a ski like that, if you hit them right in the face, you can knock them off. But, good thing about a bomb is that it'll knock them off more likely if you hit the front. But,
Bye-bye.
yeah, the last few stages you just have to retry until you get it. That's unfortunately just how the game is. Ugh. Whipped him a little. And very dead.
Bye-bye.
How'd that not hurt Simon away?
Hope you enjoy. Nice shot. Sleeping with the fishes.
I'm not entirely certain why I'm not using bombs right now. I never have the confidence to use grenades though, because you have to get a really good bounce and everything. I'll get really lucky with my opponents to not die here. Oh, come on. It's like there was a wall in front of the guy in front. Oh, fun fact, if you hit your parents with a tennis ball, it'll bounce off them and they'll die. That is a trick shot, alright. That was absolutely deliberate. Very good. That was under par. I guess if you take out the guy in front, you can hit par just by virtue of the other guys being pretty bad at hitting you. Was that supposed to be Simon's voice? It sounded like a meow. It's a very small apostrophe. In fact, is that apostrophe even part of the spawn? Anyways. So yes, so the thing is, your friend gets tied up, and you are now in the tiny one. I think the grenade also does less damage through direct contact. It could be wrong. Let's find out. Yeah, the grenade does very little damage directly. It's annoying. It's just really hard to ever have it actually land on anyone. This fight's kind of weird because you lose your upgrades. I don't know if you don't have your friend with you to start with. If he shows up there. I don't know if your dog can get tied up if you have a dog with you instead of a friend. But yeah. Again, you can just get knocked out in 2 shots like this. Of course, at the same time, it's very possible. Also, you're not allowed to go to the store here for some reason. It's also very possible to complete this in 2 shots anyways. If you have half decent aim. You see, that was already 80 damage to one, over 20 to the other. So if I just... Oh!
I'll get you. Watch out for this.
I guess this won't kill the mother. But one more hit will do it if we don't lose the brother now. Oh! What kind of... Okay. Really, taking advantage of the geometry there. Jeez. Alright, here's our last grenade just to see if we can do something useful with it. That's kind of our friend instead, if anything. But, didn't really do any better than... Spread the damage differently, but didn't really do any better like I've done with the regular tennis ball. It does seem like once an enemy decides they're done getting hit, I'm not sure anything can actually hit them again anymore after that. I'm pretty sure you can also get one shot in this stage. Okay, there we go. If a hit manages to land like right between Simon and the brother and knock them both off in either direction. There we go. Oh, it took me the same number of tries as last time too, even though it was distributed pretty differently. Took fewer tries earlier on and more tries later, I think, than when I tried it yesterday. But I can't see, if you look closely, you can see the vertices on Simon's head. I feel like... Do they not have like an oval shape you can use on Flash? Whatever. I don't know if I'd be able to submit this if I tried. I don't know, one, the server might not be it, but second, there are things like, I don't know if you have to put in a name, or if instead it tries to integrate with the account on the site that this is up on. Like, I played on Armor Games, that's where I got this copy of it from. But, so I don't know if it might try to integrate with your Armor Games account, which if it tries to integrate with the browser, there's no browser here. I don't know. But there you go. That was just a little game that I played a few times, a good few times back in the day. Oh, one thing that I was going to mention that I find strange. We can highlight this deck. For some reason, the number of tries, it includes your successful tries, which I always found weird. So a perfect playthrough would be, what, 11? I think? I think there are 10 stages, and then there's the kind of weird, mechanically unique parent fight. Anyways. There you go. That's the game. I don't remember if there was a second game that was made at some point or something. There is apparently a Raft Wars website. Apparently there was a remake at some point or something. I never looked at it. But you'll come up in search results if you search for this game at least. I guess this game was popular enough for that? I don't know. Like I said, I think the balance is pretty bad towards the end. At which point, the point bonus you get for number of attempts depends more on luck than anything. I mean, of course, you can... Luck favors someone who's good at the game, so to speak. Your average number of attempts will probably be lower if you're better at the game, but you can still just get destroyed in 2 shots if you're not lucky. Anyways. That was that. That was fun. That was not a week's worth of content in the slightest. But, I don't know what else to play. I maybe might get my hands on some additional hardware by next week, which would let me play a new thing. Or 2 actually, 2 new things probably. By extension a 3rd thing that is not on that hardware. But only maybe. I don't make promises. So that might give me something to play next week. Otherwise, I don't know what to play anymore. I'll find something, I guess. I tried for a while to find something and I only came up with this. So who knows? I don't know. We'll keep on going on somehow. man, playing 2 things at a time for like over 10 years or something, and then eventually well over 10 years I think, and then all of a sudden I'm only playing 1 game at a time. I can't even figure out what 1 game to play. It's strange. Times change. Alright, that's enough. So yeah, whatever I do next.